Good morning, students. Welcome to our YouTube channel Academia Ambala. Today I am going to explain you about Indian Judiciary, which is the part of the chapter Working of Institutions. But before starting the topic, I would like to recall you about the branches of the government which we have studied earlier. The main branches of the government are legislative, executive, and judiciary. In India, these are the three important political institutions: Parliament, legislative, executive, and judiciary. Parliament, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Minister that take all important policy decisions, comes in the Parliament. Executive, the civil servants working together are responsible for taking steps to implement the minister's decision. Then the third one is judiciary. Supreme Court is an institution where disputes between citizens and the government are finally settled. So first I would like to explain you about the meaning of judiciary. All the courts at different levels in the country are collectively called the judiciary. It is independent and powerful institution and is considered essential for democracies. The Indian judiciary consists of a Supreme Court for the entire nation, High Court in the states, district courts and the courts at the local level. The judiciary in India is also one of the most powerful in the world. Now we will discuss about the powers of judiciary. The judiciary in India is one of the most powerful judiciary in the world. India has an integrated judiciary. It means the Supreme Court controls the judicial administration in the country. The first power is settle the disputes. Judiciary settle the disputes between the citizens, between citizen and government, between two or more states, between government at the union and the state level. Second, free from legislature and judiciary. The judges do not act on the direction of the government or according to the wishes of the ruling power. That is why all the modern democracies have courts that are independent of the legislature and the executive. Third, interpret the constitution of the country. The Supreme Court and the High Court have the power to interpret the constitution of the country. And the fourth one is judicial review. They can declare invalid any law of the legislature or the actions of the executive, whether at the union level or at the state level. If they find such a law or action is against the constitution, thus they can determine the constitution validity of any legislation or action of the executive in the country. When it is challenged before them, this is known as judicial review. If the court finds that a law or an order of the executive disobeys the provision of the constitution, it declares such law or order null and void. Guardian of fundamental rights. The powers and the independence of the Indian judiciary allow it to act as the guardian of the fundamental rights. That is why the judiciary enjoys a high level of confidence among the people. Sixth, public interest litigation. Anyone can approach the courts if public interest is hurt by the action of the government. Seventh, the court intervene to prevent the misuse of the government's power to make decisions. They check malpractices on the part of the public officials. That's why the judiciary enjoy a high level of confidence among the people. The next important topic is appointment and removal of judges. The judges of the Supreme Court and High Court are appointed by the President on the advice of Prime Minister and in consultation with the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. The senior-most judge of the Supreme Court is usually appointed the Chief Justice. Once a person is appointed as judge of the Supreme Court or High Court, it is nearly impossible to remove him or her from that position. A judge can be removed only by an impeachment motion passed separately by two-thirds members of the two houses of the Parliament. It has never happened in the history of Indian democracy. This is the hierarchy of Indian judiciary. The judiciary is the third branch of the Indian government and Supreme Court is the highest, then followed by the High Court, then at the lower level district courts, civil, criminal, revenue and Nyaya Panchayats. Supreme Court, custodian of the Constitution, guardian of the Constitution. It can term any law as null or void if it is violating any provisions of the Constitution. Even high courts can do, but Supreme Court is the custodian of the Constitution. The Constitution of India is the supreme legal document of the country. There are various levels of judiciary in India, different types of courts. They form a strict hierarchy of importance in line with the order of the courts in which they sit, with the Supreme Court of India at the top, followed by high courts of respective states with district judges sitting in the district courts and magistrates of second class and civil class junior division at the bottom. Courts hear criminal and civil cases, including disputes between individuals and the government. The Indian judiciary is independent of the executive and legislative branches of government. Okay children, this is all about the Indian judiciary of the chapter Working of Institutions. Thank you children. Thank you all. God bless you.